last 6 weeks, I've been touring the world. Literally, I've been in Australia, Tokyo, Singapore, and the UK, all doing different enterprise mobility workshops for clients. And in the course of doing those workshops, I've learned a lot, and I've read a lot. So I want to just share some of that with in the next 3 or 4 minutes here with you today. Do you know, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. Mobile technologies without mobile strategies is wasted. And I know that, and it was emphasized again over the last 6 weeks when I spent time with companies that were working on their second and third generation enterprise mobility solutions. And the first one and the second one and sometimes even the third one they were able to implement enterprise mobile solutions and ruggedized hardware in the field, but they didn't have a business strategy. So their ROIs were small. The challenges were huge. The return on the efforts and just when they look back at it, they see that they were only taking advantage of a very small portion of what they could have. And the reason why they had invited me back is this time, let's put together an overall mobile strategy that helps the business maximize and optimize their return on investment. And often it requires some business process transformation or at least re-engineering. Let me just touch on some of these things that I've been learning lately and share some of this with you. One of my favorite authors, which I've been sharing here, is a military strategist, the late Colonel John Boyd with the U.S. Air Force. One of the things he always taught is he said, look, there's 3 things required to be consistently successful. Number 1, you have to have smart people. He said, without smart people, it's done before you start. Number 2, you have to have smart strategies in place. Number 3, you need to have technologies that you can use, that smart people can use to deliver the strategy. But he said it's so very important that those 3 things are in a particular order. Smart people first, smart strategies second, and third and only third is smart technologies. So let's focus on the first 2, smart people and smart ideas and strategies. Number 1, it's very important, in my opinion, to think about the concept of velocity. Now, from a physics perspective, the word velocity means speed and direction of an object. But let's talk about velocity in terms of field services. The speed in which you can get your team and your equipment and your parts and your partners and your customers all on the same job site at the same time, so that you can maximize the velocity of everyone's effort to get a job done. Because what good does it do if you have a truckload of workers, but none of the equipment necessary to even do the job? Or you have all the equipment and all the people, but you're stopped in front of a locked gate because your customer didn't show up. Velocity is when everything can be narrowed down, done, everybody arrives at the right time, and the work can get done because you have the right people, the right equipment, you're able to access the job site, you have the right parts and the right skills, all of that in the same location and at the right time. That is velocity in terms of field services. Another idea I want to just share today, we all have been exposed to movies that are 3D movies, right? And what does 3D stand for? Height, or length, width, and height. It's really the GPS coordinates, right? Length, width, and height, or your location on a map. The 3 coordinates, so you know how to get there. What's 4D? 4D is length, width, height, and time. Time's the 4th one. So you may know where your people are, but what's important is not where all your people are on the map, but where they all are at a particular time and when they're supposed to be at another location at another time. There's a lot to talk about there. I spend a lot of time in my enterprise mobility workshops talking about velocity, real-time managing a real-time enterprise, 4-dimensional field services, and other concepts such as fast transients and the phase approach to field services. We'll talk more later. I want to thank you for joining us. And if we don't talk before the holidays, everyone, happy holidays and Merry Christmas.